Our Jewish brothers and sisters begin Passover, storied in our first lesson tomorrow. When I was quite small, I remember this layering of Jewish time over Christian time, how our family's tiny church joined forces with the local Jewish temple, came together for merged High Holy Days. We taught our friends about Maundy Thursday, the birthday of the Eucharist, and they taught us about Passover. And then we hosted a together meal in our parish hall. You know, my favorite line in the musical Avenue Q is, "Guys, guys, remember, Jesus was Jewish." Our Eucharist begets itself from the night Christ celebrated Passover long ago with his friends. And if you go to a Passover Seder even today, you'll witness how the leader lifts up 3 pieces of unleavened bread, removes the middle piece, and breaks it in half. Sounds familiar, yes? Then the leader takes the larger half of that broken matzah and sets it aside to be later eaten in the meal. That broken piece is called Episcopal. My own parents still talk about how meaningful that Eucharist/Seder night was, but all we grown-up kids cared about then and now even was finding the Episcopal. For the rabbi did then what many families on the first night of Passover do. He hid that broken piece of matzah wrapped in a white linen cloth, think of that metaphor, and put it somewhere in the parish building, and then he told us that the child who found it would win the prize. John Ciardi, Boston-born American poet, penned a wild, overt poem called "Washing Your Feet." It explains, washing your feet is hard when you get fat. In lighter times, the act was unrestrained and pleasurable. You spread the toes for signs of athlete's foot. You used cream and rubbing alcohol, and you powdered. You bent over all in order and did everything. Mary Magdalene made a prayer meeting of it. She, of course, was washing not her feet, but God's. Degas' painted ladies washed their own feet. Somehow, they also seem to be washing God's feet. To touch anybody, anywhere, should be ritual. To touch one's own body anywhere should be ritual. Fat makes the ritual wheezy and a bit ridiculous. Ritual and idea should breathe easy. They are memorial, meditative, immortal. Toenails keep growing after one is dead. Washing my feet, I think of immortal toenails. What are they doing on these 10 crypt polyps? So many fabulous turns easy. Ritual and its idea should breathe easy, but friends, ritual and the ideas behind them are never easy. The ritual of burying and grieving a loved one, not easy. The ritual of us shouting on Palm Sunday, "Crucify him, crucify him," not easy. The ritual of washing another person's feet, or worse yet, letting someone else wash ours, not easy. Friends, rituals heal, but not all appeal. For rituals require intimacy, openness, a willing to give, expose, offer, sometimes the ugliest parts of self. That Maundy Thursday long ago was the best ever in my life. It was the only one in my 45 years where no foot washing took place. Eucharist and Passover Seder took so long, our parish priest eliminated the foot washing, and I remember my mother telling me this and I breathed a sigh of relief. No one touching, tickling my ugly feet. No need to make an appointment for a pedicure. No foot washing. Only bread searching. Being together. Having fun. Just for fun, I searched the phrase foot washing ritual on the internet, and oddly enough, found on the website The Knot, a wedding website, a bride considering foot washing as part of her wedding ceremony. She wrote, "It's a very spiritual and intimate thing to do. Any ideas on how to make it not boring? For those who don't know what it is, should we explain it?" Of course, as the internet invites, responses from total strangers poured in, the best one saying this: "I think most people are aware about the significance of foot washing. However, I would urge you, reconsider. Because logistically, it's a mess. You'll have to have chairs to sit in, and there's a huge chance you'll splash water everywhere. You'll have to remove shoes and socks or stockings, and then immediately put them back on damp feet. Ick! And some people are just generally grossed out by feet anyway, and will be uncomfortable if you do this, and I don't think you should. Make sure you have some music playing so it's not awkward." Please note the difference between the Synoptic Gospels version of the Eucharist and John's. In Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Jesus, in the image of Passover, takes the bread, breaks it, and says, "This is my body given for you." So those three Gospels focus on the meal. But John's focus is not on the meal, not on the bread, but instead on a messy, intimate, awkward act Take note that ancient sandal-footed days when guests arrived at someone's home, a good host would offer a basin of water, but hosts would never do the washing. They simply provided the water so the guests could wash their own crimped palates themselves. A really great host would have a slave available to wash the feet of a guest, but understand this, no free person ever stooped to wash the feet of another free person. Hospitality back then meant offering the water, perhaps the services of a slave, but it did not mean doing the act. So what Christ did that night was unheard of. And that action gets a reaction. Peter's sputtering objection of the foot washing. Completely understandable. We're right there with him. But still, just imagine. Christ before you. Christ beneath you. On his knees. To cleanse and please. Only you. So on that day, Jesus gave a mandatum novum. Maundy Thursday takes its name from this phrase, translation from the Latin that means a new commandment. Love one another as I love you. Do as I do. Pattern your life unnaturally with awkward acts, intimate tasks of devotion. Be not afraid to expose the most vulnerable parts of self and serve another. Years ago, that rabbi who came to my parish informed all the children before the hunt, if you find the matzah, bring it to me, and only me. Then you'll get a prize. Happy I was when I found the Episcopal, gave it to him, relished the prize I claimed, hid it in my pocket. Only later, when I arrived home, did I find the rabbi hadn't hidden just one. Somehow, all three of my siblings, every child in the parish, had found that piece of broken bread wrapped in linen, reminding us all through ritual, we're loved, we're celebrated, we're cherished. In my favorite episode of the TV series MASH, one day Father Mulcahy, the unit's priest, went into the infirmary for a checkup, and as he was being examined, Hawkeye said, "Father, your feet must be so beautiful because you spend so much time on your knees." Some of us will foot wash, others will watch. But whatever you do, you have chosen to be present, to be intimate, to witness and celebrate your life is a cherished child of Christ. May you love as he loves, help as he helps, rescue as he rescued, serve as he serves. And in the words of Handel's Messiah, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel.